Thanks, Chrissy. I think this might be my fourth New World Metals conference now with Blackstone. We started our lives as cobalt explorers, and I think 4 years ago was my first ever presentation in this room. I started with 3 jokes and I didn't get one laugh, so hopefully I'm getting a bit better over the journey. But I've done a lot of these now, and I've never been more excited about the future of New World Metals and the future of our industry. And what a great time to be a junior miner mining for the metals that are going to change the world and change the future for our children and our grandchildren. So with Blackstone, we can give you direct exposure to the downstream products, the high nickel cathode products. So we're actually looking to produce the first stage of the lithium-ion battery. It's called a nickel precursor, and it has a ratio of nickel, cobalt to manganese of 8:1:1. And as I said, we started as cobalt explorers, and it was our partners, our friends in Korea, that said to us, can you go and look for nickel sulfide? And that's why we came across this little mine in northern Vietnam. It's much more than a little mine. It's a nickel sulfide district. It's like going into Campbell 60 years ago. There's nickel outcropping everywhere. You can pick it up off the ground. It's quite an amazing opportunity geologically. It's very similar to the Norilsk and Jinchuan nickel districts in Russia and China. It's the same belt that actually goes up into China all the way through to the Jinchuan nickel district. But we're going to do it a little bit differently to all the other nickel miners out there. We're going to take it into that downstream. This is a scalable and modular downstream refining business, and it's looking to produce that NCM 811 product. And you can see there, as an industry, the demand that's coming means that we need 1 million tonnes per annum of Class 1 nickel. That's the entire world supply today. We need to find, develop and build and deliver over the next 5 to 10 years. So it's a big challenge as an industry, and I think we're up to it, but it's going to take a lot of hard work and a lot of focus to deliver into this EV revolution. So you can see here, it's very clear that they're moving towards that 8:1:1 ratio. So it's all about the high nickel cathode. Everyone wants their EV to be able to get down to Margaret River. So if you don't want to stop short of Margaret River, make sure your EV's got some serious nickel content in there. And actually, I'd be looking for the 8:1:1 ratio in your first EV. You can see there we've got a supportive shareholder base, Deutsche Balaton out of Germany. They've been very supportive. They came in when we were exploring for cobalt. They followed us all the way through into this nickel opportunity. We've got EcoPro. They're the largest cathode manufacturer in the world, and they are out of South Korea. It was actually EcoPro that's pushed us in the direction of the nickel sulfide opportunity. We found the opportunity, but it was their insight that gave us that sort of strategy to move towards nickel. We've recently introduced Fidelity, which is one of the largest institutional investors in the world, and they're very focused on our high ESG compliance and our green nickel opportunity, and we'll talk more about what green nickel is all about. Board and management have a strong position, so we've got some crusty old mining executives there, and including myself. We've got Mr. Jung, who's the representative of EcoPro, and then Miss Alison Gaines, who is a corporate governance expert, and it shows our commitment to ESG compliance. Well cashed up with the last quarter of 14 million and sitting around $160 million market cap. So you can see here we've got the downstream and the upstream business. The upstream is the previously operating Bandfulk nickel mine. We'll talk a little bit about that, but today we'll really talk about what the future holds for Blackstone, but for the industry, and it's the ability to take nickel concentrate and convert it into that precursor product, which is that 811. We have a very strong partnership with Trafigura as well as EcoPro, so we have downstream partners like EcoPro, the cathode manufacturer. We have upstream partners like Trafigura, the largest nickel trading house in the world. Trafigura and our mine will feed concentrate into this downstream business, and that's where we'll partner with the lithium-ion battery industry end users. At the upstream level, we're currently drilling out 5 different ore bodies. We've got 25 targets. The first 5 are mines. It looks like we've got 2 big open pit mines and 3 small underground mines. And that's the 2 different types of ore bodies. We have large disseminated, medium to low grade ore bodies. We have high grade, narrow underground massive sulphide veins, similar to what we mine in Kambalda in Australia. And so to combine those 2 into 2 different concentrators, we're looking to build a second concentrator. You can see the existing concentrator is well suited to those high grade underground mines. We will build a second larger concentrator for the big open pit disseminated ore bodies. That'll all be in the PFS later in the year, and then moving into the definitive feasibility study phase and looking to commercial production. So this upstream business will feed concentrate into our downstream business. So that's our district. It's outcropping nickel massive sulphide, 25 targets. You can see the big mag anomalies are the intrusions. So we use mag, we use modern day geophysics, electromagnetics to unlock what we believe could be a world-class nickel sulphide district. So this is the very lucrative downstream business. So we've just completed a pre-feasibility study on this strategy to convert the concentrate from our mine, but also from our third-party feed providers like Trafigura. We're now moving into the pilot plant phase and the definitive feasibility study phase. That's a really important time where we work closely with our downstream partners, our feedstock partners. Each of these battery makers wants a slightly different chemistry. Some want the 811, some are going further, 9.5.5. So there's the ability to work closely with those partners and then lock in the offtakes, the joint ventures, the equity that will come from those major players. They will write big checks. We're pretty confident of that. The funding, a lot of the funding will come from the downstream partners. Then we'll move into the detailed engineering and construction and produce that precursor in 2024. So just on the pre-feasibility study recently announced, this is a globally significant downstream nickel refining business. This is these high-level numbers, $2 billion NPV at a conservative pricing, capital intensity, 491 million. So there's not many projects out there, 4 times NPV to CapEx ratio. If we use today's pricing, I think, I'm not sure if everyone realised, nickel just went through $20,000 a tonne. Add another 20% to that price, and that's the price we'll be getting. It's actually 40%, sorry, today. That drives a $3.5 billion NPV. So very lucrative business. And some of the best economics I've seen in the industry. So you can see here we've got this central refining business in northern Vietnam. We're using the renewable power. We're feeding in those 2 different types of ore bodies from our mines. So we'll have 2 concentrators, the MSV concentrator, the disseminated sulphide larger concentrator. We bring in the top-up feed from our friends at Trafigura. So they'll be an important feedstock supply partner. And then we're also talking to all the other nickel miners out there today that aren't in offtake. So anyone that wants to sell some nickel, you can either go to BHP or you can come and have a chat to me, and I'm sure I'll be able to give you some better terms. This is where we're situated. So we're in the northern part of Vietnam. You can see here we've got the rail infrastructure down to the port city of Haiphong, a local electric vehicle company called VinFast. Look out for VinFast. They are Vietnam's answer to Tesla, and it wouldn't surprise me if one day we're seeing VinFast cars driving around Perth. So VinFast are a major player in the industry. Our nickel is most likely end up in a VinFast electric vehicle. So we've got this ability to take the nickel from our mine, convert it into these downstream products at one of these 2 locations, put it into the electric vehicle down at the port, and it's a great way to put Vietnam on the map. We believe that we're a very important part of that supply chain into that electric vehicle company. These are the major Class 1 nickel sulphide miners in the world today. We're looking to sit somewhere around here. So 2 of our main competitors are BHP and Glencore, pretty big names in the industry. The reason we can compete is because of the renewable power in Vietnam. So we have the largest hydro power plant in Southeast Asia. We have some of the most competitive labour costs in the world. The margins on this downstream product mean that we can compete with the majors. And the other thing is that Tesla have come out, they've said, we need all the nickel you can deliver, but it has to be green. So green nickel is all about the class 1 type. So to get to class 1, you really want to be in the sulfide type. It's a much easier process, less capital intensive, and a less technical risk around the sulfide. You want to be vertically integrated, so you want to be nickel in the ground all the way through to those downstream products near the mine site. You want to be using the renewable power. The pressure oxidation process, it's a hydromet technology, it's better suited for this downstream chemical business. You want to be using electric equipment. We're in the Electric Mine Consortium with some of the major players in the industry, and it's all about that corporate commitment to ESG. We have trademarked green nickel, and no one else in Australia can say that they have green nickel. We believe that we have some of the cleanest and greenest nickel in the world. So just on a real summary of our business, we can purchase nickel concentrate from our mine at arm's length. We can purchase it from other nickel miners in the world, Australia, Canada, Asia, Africa. We purchase it for 75% roughly. We convert it into the 811. It trades at a 120 to 140% premium. My friend at Noel Long from Samso, he's coined the phrase, it's basically like making hamburgers. So we buy all the ingredients, we put them together and we sell it. The ingredients are nickel, cobalt and manganese. Combine them together and you get a significant uplift in value. So we're the McDonald's of the nickel mining industry. This is the premium that has been trading this 811 product between 20 and 40% premium. We've used 20% to drive that $2 billion NPV. Like I said, today's pricing, it's around 40%, and that's about a $3.5 billion NPV. And this is why we can pay a little bit extra. So you can see in this chart, we can pay 5 or 10% above the market rate for nickel concentrate. So whatever BHP is offering you, Peter, I'll beat it by 5 or 10 because of these numbers. So you can see driving strong revenues at those higher concentrate payabilities. So the next 12 months are really important for Blackstone. We're going to de-risk this. We're going to go from 150 million market cap. We're going to try and close the gap on that NPV, and to do that we need to de-risk this opportunity for our investors through DFS, pilot plant, further drilling. That's a big year. Funding, final investment decision. It has to get closer to that $2 billion NPV, one would hope. Thank you for your time.